Hey everybody, I'm Mike.
And I'm Vic.
And you're watching METS in Florida.
Florida.
How's it going?
Pretty good. Pretty good. Well, this is episode
9.
9. We're on episode 9.
Yes.
Welcome, everybody. I'm sure all the Met fans out there are happy. We took 2 out of 3 from Atlanta.
Oh, yes.
With a makeshift lineup, pretty much. You can actually say a half a lineup because
pretty much.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Made it even more incredible that we took 2 out of 3.
It makes me feel better about. Look, we need improvements. There's no doubt about it. But I learned a lot about Atlanta this time around. I learned that they are a power hitting team because all their runs came from the home run.
Right.
However, they are pretty much all or nothing. They're prone to the strikeout.
They are prone to the strikeout, but get credit with it is due. I mean, they're a good hitting team nonetheless.
They are, of course.
Yeah, it's not way one-sided, but you keep them in the ballpark or keep them to solo shots, you got a good chance against them.
Well, here's my attitude exactly, and the reason I brought that up was because yesterday I felt like we beat them at their own game. We had the home run.
Yeah.
Exactly. We had the pitching. We had the bullpen that they didn't have. They have a better bullpen. Right. But I feel like considering we are at the lowest we've been all year and we still managed to do this, I think it shows you how close we are with a couple of moves, how close we are to being in the upper echelon, if not already.
Right.
So I felt better. Even if we lost this game, we won the first game. That was something. But to take 2 out of 3, I kind of see things a little different.
Right.
I'm not saying that we have to we can afford to be laxed on what we do, and I know they're not. But I feel like I still think we got this.
Yeah, I think I'm liking it. Actually, I did like what Tom Nito said.
Yeah.
That was really interesting that the players all watching
they hear what
everybody's saying about
and they think it's funny.
We're losing, it's done, the season's over. I think we still have Wilpon
PTSD.
Yeah, really.
And you know what? It makes me appreciate this team because the players are very in tune with us. The owner is very in tune with us. They all know how we are as a whole. I know you and I are one of a handful of the more positive. We're not going to beat them down. Like you said, always support them no matter what. Yeah. But they're in tune with they got the pulse of everybody. So, they know
what I like is that at least in the past, you always felt that they were trying to give you a snow job about
they don't do that anymore.
About like what when all the fans were seeing that, oh no, this is not right, you can sugarcoat it any way you want. They're not trying to sugarcoat anything they're seeing. And I think we had mentioned about what Sandy had said, pretty much called out the hitters as far as the DH without naming their names, that hey, you haven't done anything. We've given you a lot of chances, and they have,
And yeah, well, no, and I want to talk to you more about that interview because it was actually pretty interesting. As far as the Braves go, yes, you got to give credit where credit's due. What I'm saying is, like, I feel like, yes, they're good hitters, they're scary hitters when they're on, but they're not infallible. Like I feel like this 14-game winning streak was nice for them. Right. But I could see now why, when we're both on our game, pitching is going to be the name of the game no matter what.
I think among the teams, the best teams that we played, Dodgers, Houston, we have yet to play the Yankees, but they're in that group too.
Oh, they're in there.
All of them really good hitting teams, but you know what? You have to concentrate against them. If you make really good pitches, you can stop their lineups.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
But you can't just think you're going to show up and and just beat them because
No.
they're way too good. All those hitters are way too good. You have to really attack their weaknesses and just be relentless.
But
and
we
got the arms to do it.
We do, and this is why what I feel too. Like you and I talked a few videos ago about respecting every opponent. Like right now we got the Cubs, and it's easy to say, "Oh, that's going to be a cakewalk." Not necessarily.
Nah, I never looked at it.
It's baseball,
like that.
Susan. Anything can happen.
Yeah.
But I will say this: I don't. Yes, respect the opponents, and you know who the quote unquote good teams are. I just don't want to pedestalize too much. The almighty Yankees.
Yeah.
The almighty Dodgers, the Astros, the Braves. Yes, they're great teams, but we got to realize we got to give ourselves some credit too.
I've never looked at the Yankees that way, but I did look at the Dodgers.
But you know the media is.
Yeah, but I have looked at the Dodgers that way until we faced off against them.
Yeah, once you see them, you realize, okay, they got flaws like we do. They're a great team, but
now I'm not sure who was this on the Braves. I don't know if it was Morton who said that, but he said something like, "Oh yeah, we respect the Mets now. They're not the same as last year." So doesn't that kind of say they came into the series not respecting us?
No, they did not. And why do you think they pulled that fast one with Robinson Cano the other day?
Yeah.
That was totally for us.
Yeah.
They were trying to play.
Yeah, mind games.
Chess. Yeah, and it's didn't work. I mean, he got a couple of hits, but it didn't work.
Well, it would be nice if we got some Brave killers on as far as either pitchers or hitters that have their numbers. It would be nice.
It would be nice. Well, that's what I mean. Like you pedestalize the Braves, you beat them, and not them. I know this team doesn't, but fans will say, okay, the Cubs should be easy 3 out of 4. Let's play the games.
Right.
Let's play the games. We're still at Wrigley. There could be that little come down, that letdown.
Right. Exactly.
For riding this high, so.
Right.
That's why I love Buck. He keeps everybody even keel.
Right.
And you got to treat the Cubs like they're the world champs now.
Right.
You got to focus.
I wish I was a fly on the wall though, just to see how they're going to try to strike before the All-Star break, just after the All-Star break.
Well, shout out to Wardy. He was talking with Believe. He's got a new podcast, Believe in Queens, and he asked that question and I think Wardy said something along the lines of he maybe one move before, because don't forget, who do we face as soon as the All-Star break's over? Padres, Yankees.
Yankees, yeah.
5 games.
Yeah, so I don't want to go up against the Yankees being not a complete team.
No, and the Padres are on the top 5 too, so you don't want to deal with that.
And here's another thought too, is that even after the trade deadline, that's the most that we can do for trades. Can't have any other trades. However, that's
no
not
waivers.
That's not the end of our moves.
Vientos.
Because things can change, because Vientos is hitting. Alvarez hasn't gotten off to a great start yet, but he'll figure it out.
He will.
If he figures it out soon, quickly, and gets on his typical tear, he might be looking at a pre-September call-up, and that might be.
I think you will.
So besides the players that we're going to trade for, you have that possibility as well. On a lower scale, because you're not going to put too much pressure on these kids coming in a pennant race, jumping in. But the good part is, if you do bring them in, they will know what it feels like for next season. And the other ones, the pressure, how to perform, how to conduct yourself, how the other players are conducting themselves during a pennant race. So it's going to reap benefits down the road.
Oh, it's going to be awesome.
So that's a good thing.
Like when Conforto came in, to that 2015, and
I think he came up in July, didn't he?
Late July, like before the trade, the week before the trades. I remember that. We just got Kelly Johnson and Juan Uribe, remember?
Right.
And at the time, it made a difference. I read an article today about Wilson Contreras. I know we're playing the Cubs today. And he said he wants to stay with the Cubs. He knows if a team offers a good package, he's going to go. But he doesn't see himself going anywhere for what it's worth. I don't think we're going to go after him anyway. I don't think it makes any sense.
Yeah, I don't I don't really think that's gonna happen either.
No, we have two problems on our hands. You don't want that.
Yeah. I can see another trade happening for a catcher because, Nito has established himself as great backup catcher. Mazika,
no,
I don't know. You might need to beef that up a little bit. So,
and now
there are some
McCann's
people out
again.
there because we don't even know about McCann really.
The thing about the catcher with Contreras is he would be a future piece, like long term, and you don't want to have to juggle him with Alvarez.
Yeah, I don't really want to do that.
Remember, like we picked up. I'm not saying we're going to go to this level. Remember when we picked up Devin Marasco a few years ago?
Yeah,
he was decent. I'm saying maybe a little more than that, but someone along those lines that could fill that space with Nito,
right?
Until McCann gets healthy and until
also if you look at it with Alvarez, and I mentioned to you, off air that the bar is set really low as far as hitting. And I did read a report that he was the best pitch framer.
That's great news.
So that in itself, and I'm sure they're going to get some feedback from DeGrom. I'm sure they got some from Scherzer. I'm glad he got to, be around those two because, hey, that's good, a future battery mate right there.
Yeah, no, I think that was good. And I know Alvarez was kind of following Max around.
Right.
During one of the rehab starts, like trying to get a lot of information from him.
Yeah, I can see Alvarez catching Scherzer because Scherzer just calls his own game.
Yeah. It'd be easy for him just to sit there.
DeGrom, probably to the same extent.
But not someone like Chris Bassett.
Chris Bassett, no, would have to be Nito.
Too many
weapons. You have to really guide him through it. Even though he's a veteran, you just got to really guide him through it. As we speak, I'm looking at DeGrom. Let me see. Where are we at in DeGrom? DeGrom has pitched 3 innings. He's given up 2 hits. He's given up a run. He has 4 strikeouts.
It's an unearned run though, Vic.
Yeah, I just saw that.
4 strikeout. Yeah, good.
Yeah. So
and just so you know, he's a friend of mine's watching the game. He's streaming it. Let me ask you this: how many of his pitches do you think have been over 100?
Oh, he's doing it right now? Well, when I went to see him live, I think he hit like 4 pitches over 100 or more. What has he got now?
3.
Okay. So he's
not bad.
And that's been consistent with all his outings. Has been between 3 and 4.
He's really working on his slider and his changeup.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
He probably already knows. He goes, well, he's got the fastball there.
Yeah, that's done.
Yeah, just get the slider, changeup, and I want to see that curveball that he has in his back pocket.
I know he's got one.
It's like, just do it. It's like, let's see that.
It may not be a Doc Gooden curveball, but it's still a good curveball, I'm sure.
Yeah, he still has a really good curveball. It's like, I would love to see it. I was like, talk about making knees buckle.
Is it an Uncle Charlie or a Lord Charles? I know Doc's was a Lord Charles.
Lord Charles was probably. I think it's more of Uncle Charlie.
Yeah, but
not a full 12 to 6.
A higher level Uncle Charlie.
Exactly.
Not the crazy Uncle Charlie.
I want to see that.
That's really good. So very encouraging signs from Atlanta. We could have easily swept that series, honestly.
Yeah, if again, it showed the weakness. We need another high-end reliever.
That's what it was. And you got to give credit to their pitching as well, Atlanta.
But Atlanta's bullpen is statistically better than ours.
But we outperformed theirs this week, though.
Exactly. So that's the thing is like if we can get just another one that can join in, another high level, because I think everybody has agreed Lugo is just not that guy.
It's sad, isn't it, in a way, what happened to him?
Yeah, it's sad. He's just not the guy. He's just not the guy anymore.
Maybe he just needs an assignment down, go like do a Steve Traxel, go down work on some things?
Like some kind of phantom injury that he needs to work
Well, that's
through.
what they said today. Like a BS injury.
Yeah, just kind of bring him down.
Dead arm. I got dead arm. I need to work it out.
Just kind of work it through and then see what we have. We do have some interesting arms down there.
I mean, this year with Lugo, besides
Medina, I was looking at this. We got two guys who hit over 100. Even if they're not part of this year's, I'm curious to see Eric Orsi.
You were saying about him, yeah.
He's got a lot of strikeouts and he's got a power, like 100-mile-an-hour sinker. And the other guy, I'm trying to remember his name. It kind of escapes me. Oka, I think his last name.
Yeah, they both begin with the same letter.
Yeah, both strikeout type pitches, and I'm curious. Put him in the back end after, of course, we get somebody else. But I'm curious to see what these guys have to offer. And I think a sleeper. What do we have in Trevor May when he comes back? Yeah,
and people are saying that. I know you. I don't think you said. I think you said you weren't like high on him, but Colin Holderman, he could still be one of the more reliable arms.
He could be. Let's see how it works out.
He's got the ability.
Yeah, you never know. I mean, put it this way: there's going to be some of these guys are going to be in the bullpen next year, and we need to see them how they perform in this kind of pressure.
Yep.
But having said that, not in pressure situations right now because every win is important.
And one of the things that they said in the Wardy, the Believe in Queens, shout out to them too. We need relievers, yes. However, we need the relievers to carry us through the regular season because you want to hold on to first place, obviously.
Yep.
Because why? What happens in the playoffs?
Those extra starters go in the bullpen.
Right. So that's really what you're going to see. Peterson, you're going to see McGill, you're going to see Williams.
Right.
Along with the main guys.
Right.
So if we can just get enough relief to keep us in first place the rest of the way.
Right.
Maybe get home field advantage throughout the playoffs.
I think that's what we need to do. Besides win the division, is really work hard to get the best record in the National League.
I know the Dodgers are a little bit ahead right now, but I think we can take it back.
I think we could take it back, especially if DeGrom pitches like DeGrom and we have Scherzer and they're both healthy and they're going through, and we increase the hitting because sometimes these guys are pitching their hearts out, and if we get that one or two hitters in that DH spot coming through on a consistent basis, a lot of these nail biters will be cakewalks.
Yeah.
They'll be a lot easier, a lot, these nice 5-1 games instead of
that's what made
3-1 ball games.
4-1. That's what made yesterday so nice.
Yes.
That's why when Drew Smith gave up the home run again to Austin Riley, I mean, at least you could say, okay, all right, that's fine.
And that's the other thing, that I noticed that concerns me a lot, that you got to bring him down as far as the pecking order. Smith, he has given up way too many home runs. The ERA is deceptive. It's like just below 3.
You can't go by that.
Innings pitched to home runs allowed. That was he's on the level of the bad year that Diaz had when his first year.
19.
He's given up 9 home runs. I'm like, that's a lot in a short amount of time. And the funny thing is, even a short amount of time, because I know he pitched something like maybe his first 15 innings were like dominant. Since that point, he's given up all those home runs, which makes it even worse.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like from the beginning of the year. It was
he was rolling
through.
He was perfect for like the first 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Yeah, it was like I think he had I think it was like 15 innings. He was up to and hadn't allowed a run, and then all of a sudden, boom! It's like every outing he's giving up a home run.
Yeah, boom.
He's missing his spots. Yeah. Either he's missing his spots or there were some games I saw that he did miss a spot bad. But then there were other times that the pitch selection was,
that's part of it.
Overthinking.
Yeah, that's part of it.
Yeah.
That's part of it.
Yeah.
What made yesterday crazy too is, again, we were missing literally 2 all-stars. in McNeil and Marte, who came back today.
Right.
And we got Guillorme in the cleanup spot. I know, super unorthodox, but you have to give, like you mentioned, that one hit he got was awesome.
Yeah, that one opposite way, double down the line. I was like, that's what they were doing early in the season. They all were doing that. They were taking the pitch, the pitcher's pitch, and going with it, not trying to do too much with it. And they were scoring runs in bunches.
Kind of like shades of the earlier in the year.
Right. And then they stopped doing that. And then all of a sudden it became, I want to pull it. And instead of going against the shift, they were going into the shift.
No.
It's like, no, that's what happened last year.
You know what's crazy about this series too? Normally, and I hate using the word carry when it comes to one player, because to me, no one player carries a baseball team. Maybe for a week, but it's a team. This isn't basketball. No offense to basketball, but
Right.
But I do feel like for a change, the rest of the guys carried Pete in the series.
Right. Yeah.
I mean, his presence made a difference, but he didn't do the damage. It was all the other guys around him, and you got to give props to Lindor. He was 3 for 5 in the first game.
Yep.
The home run. He was 5 for 14 in the series.
Right.
Again, I know the batting average isn't, beautiful, but it's when he's doing it. He's stepping up. Even last year against the Yankees.
Oh,
he came stepping up in big games.
In big games, he did come through, which is good. As a side note, batting average, you want a higher batting average.
Yeah, you do.
Those RBIs. Remember last year from the Braves, Adam Duvall.
Yeah.
Had a low batting average, but he had over 100 RBIs.
Yeah.
He got his hits when you needed it.
So Dal Strawberry was the same way. He didn't hit for high average.
Yeah, I didn't hit for high average.
No, but you look at you, drove in 100 runs or close to it.
Yeah.
And I read somewhere that Lindor is the first switch hitting shortstop of all time to have 60 or more RBIs by the All-Star break or something like that.
Yeah, I heard that too. That's pretty good.
I mean, you don't hear, all the haters out there don't want to give him credit, but
But for a topic from another day, I still think he's not a number 3 hitter for the future.
No, but he's a very valuable.
Yeah, he's 2 or 5. The way I look at it in the lineup, he's either 2 or he's behind.
You wouldn't bat him lower than 5.
No, he's either 2 or 5 because the 2 he runs enough, they can get on base, he can do damage. But the 3 hitter, I really would love to see a game with McNeil in the 3 hole.
Yeah, I think he definitely.
But I think it works better though when we make the deal for a DH, that a good DH or hitters that can protect Pete. Then I would like to try McNeil in the 3rd hole.
Silly question. Worst case scenario, if there was an injury or something along those lines, would you consider batting Lindor leadoff? Yeah,
I would try that.
If you had to. If you had
to. I think he would work on leadoff when he's hot.
Yeah.
I think when he's hot,
That makes sense.
Yeah. But let's see how the Chicago series is coming.
Yeah, it's going to be a half hour. I do want to talk a little bit about Sandy Alderson's interview with John Heyman and Joel Sherman.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very, very interesting. He did pretty much say how the DH is pretty much the number one thing they want. He's saying it. And this is a guy that usually keeps his cards close to his vest. He's putting it out there. No, we need a DH. The 2 guys have not produced.
Which you know what it makes me think?
But
they're on the
precipice.
Yeah, on the precipice of making a deal for that. I don't think he would say that because that kind of puts you already in desperation mode. So that makes me
because they're smart. They're not going to just give it away like that unless they know something.
So I think they're probably close to getting the person or persons that they want. Why say that?
Well, and here's the thing. And they asked him, they said, well, we're not going to name names, but there are 2 guys in your division that are the top candidates, meaning Cruz and Bell.
Right.
But there's the fact that they're in the division hurt, and he said, well, it's not that. It's that you got to see what other teams need. This is what he said. you got to look at the market. Who else is really looking for a DH? I think they're probably the only ones looking for a DH. So he's basically saying no one's really in our way.
Right.
So this is what he said. I can't think of any right now, is what he said. None come to mind right now.
Well, none come to mind, but, they are sneaky people. The Braves are very sneaky.
So I wonder why he said that. It makes me wonder, like you said, they got to be close or confident.
I think they're talking, and I think they're close. Otherwise, why put yourself in that position to look even more desperate?
Yeah, and he was classy about not mentioning the two guys' names, which he's always good about that. Right. But then he mentioned the relief. He said, yeah, you need relief pitching too. He goes, this is what he said. He said, we did lose a handful of games to our relief. He goes, and we do have to address that. But our number one concern is the DH.
So that tells me
it wasn't even like 1 and 1A. It was like 1, 2.
Yeah. To me, I think they're closer on the hitter than they're on relief. I think that's what it says. I think they're closer to get the hitter. That's a good
sign, though.
Yeah, it is a good sign. If we can get that done first, and then go from there and see.
Do you think this little run this little magical run that the Orioles are on are going to hurt us from getting Mancini or someone like that?
Yep.
Just like the Red Sox, right?
I think forget the Red Sox, forget Mancini. They're not going to trade them. They're not. It's like they just won 10 in a row. They actually had a legitimate shot now to be a wild card.
And let's face it, the Orioles have always, you talk about like a quote unquote bad team beating a good team. The Orioles have always given the Yankees fits.
Yeah.
They always give the Yankees fits.
I think more in Yankee Stadium than in Baltimore. I think the Yankees have pretty much owned them in Baltimore.
Yeah, that's the funny part. Like they
that's a weird thing.
It's so weird. Yeah. Although this year, I think they swept them already. Or lost. I think they swept them earlier this year. Early in the year before they got on their roll.
Yeah.
But anyway, that division is interesting.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to think what else Sandy said. He said something along the lines of, again, he'd rather, we have the two, I forget, collateral, which is the players and the money. They really don't want to. And he mentioned a lot, and it's sticking in his craw, Pete Crow Armstrong.
Yeah.
He said, we can't do that anymore. We got to be careful. Because just because somebody's injured, you can't put them in a trade. You can't forget about them and just throw them in a trade.
Yeah. Which means
he mentioned, he said his name like 3 times.
Yeah. Yeah. They
like it bothers him that they let him go.
Yeah. Yeah. I wasn't happy about it at the time, but anyway,
so encouraging.
Coming up, we have to touch on another video. We'll touch on the draft coming up and the All-Star game.
Yep, and the 4 guys that are in there, and hopefully we'll talk about winning 3 out of 4 in Chicago. Hopefully, finishing on a strong note.
Let's hope, and we'll touch on DeGrom's latest rehab start.
I think he's going to have one more after tonight.
Yeah, I think it's one more, and that's it.
It's going to be crazy. And then you got again, starting right out of the gate, San Diego and the Yankees.
Yeah.
Talk about being tested. It's like,
oh, really? I know.
Immediately.
Well, it is what it is.
Yeah, I'm proud of what we accomplished this week, and I want to build on it. So
I just want to put this team really together now. Really,
we haven't been on 8 cylinders all year long.
Yeah. We haven't had that long winning streak, so this is a time if we can put it together, we can do it.
That's called a winning streak. Exactly. It has happened before.
Yes.
Right. Well, on that note, on 3, 1, 2, 3, let's
go.
Mets. If you like our stuff, we hope you do. Like and subscribe. Thank you, Vic. Thank you.
Thanks, Mike. I will see you next time. See everybody next time, and we'll talk about we'll cover the draft coming up this Sunday.
Yeah, that's going to be exciting. We'll definitely do that. All right, take
care.
See you
later.
Go Mets. Yeah, let's go Mets. Thanks. See ya.